Hi, everybody, and welcome to Keeneland Babies, presented by Spendthrift. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, and let's throw up the field for Thursday's Keeneland Baby race. It's one of two-year-old races scheduled for beautiful Keeneland on Thursday. The opener, well represented by Spendthrift Stallions. The number 3, Our Lady Nelson, is by First Crop Stallion Lord Nelson. Texas Tiara, the number 9, is by Malibu Moon. We're, of course, going 4.5 furlongs this race for 2-year-old fillies. And Nicole, some well-bred horses in this race.
Definitely some well-bred horses in this race. It's part of a really strong card at Keeneland on Thursday. I believe there's 4 allowance races on the card. There's 3 maiden special weights, including these 2-year-old races. I think there's going to be a lot of wagering opportunity. I'll advise you, as always, to watch the board as you're placing these wagers, as we're filming this a couple of days out and don't have the benefit of the live odds. But I think this is a really fun, competitive race on a fun, competitive card.
Breaking from the rail is the number 1, Van Sickle. What can you tell us about this stallion?
Well, Astern is reverse shuttling for Darley from Australia to the United States. He was, a pretty quick and precocious horse running in Australia. Of course, he did all of his work on the turf, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for him to have good dirt horses and good dirt sprinters. He's by Medaglia d'Oro, has that kind of link to American dirt type pedigrees, classic type pedigrees. These is first U.S. 2-year-olds, and I like what I'm hearing about them from some people who've worked with them early. I hear that they're really laid back and professional sort of horses.
The only horse in this race with prior racing experience is the number 2, Royal County, by First Crop Stallion Klimt. Royal County raced on April the 2nd, took a little bit of money, was well beaten that day, but goes out for John Ennis, who has been clicking on all cylinders with his 2-year-olds at this meeting. And look at this family, Ghost Sapper and City Zip. This filly only costs $10,000. She's got tremendous broodmare potential down the road.
Yeah, what a wonderful family, that Broodmare of the Year Baby Zip producing Ghost Sapper and City Zip, among others. This is the first crop for Klimt by Quality Road. He was a grade 1 winning 2-year-old himself. And, John Ennis, we talk all the time about how they're usually better second time out, and he's just come out firing at this meet with the first time starters.
Number 3, Our Lady Nelson by Spendthrift First Crop Stallion Lord Nelson. This horse worked a furlong in 10 seconds flat before selling for $95,000 at the OBS March 2-year-old sale. That is a quick workout. Lord Nelson was a quick horse.
Yeah, he was. Went longer with some success earlier in his career before cutting back and becoming a multiple grade 1 winning sprinter. People might be forgetting about him a little bit at this point because, he did miss the Breeders' Cup Sprint with an injury, which then developed complications, which led to him entering stud a year late. But he was a very anticipated horse, one of the last good sons probably of Sire of Sire's Pulpit going to stud. I really have high hopes for him as a stallion. And this filly more than doubled her yearling sale price when selling as a 2-year-old last month. That certainly tells me she's going the right way.
Moving on to the number 4, Burning Desire. Now, this is a filly by Empire Maker, a classic stallion, only 9% with 2-year-old first-time starters. The dam won a couple of times on the turf. I have a feeling that this filly is going to need a race or two, maybe get out in distance, maybe even get onto the turf down the road.
Well, I definitely see the distance in the family. I see Belmont Stakes winner Empire Maker over a mare by Tappet, the most successful sire in the modern history of the Belmont Stakes. And certainly that says distance to me.
Moving on to the number 5, Averly Jane. This is a filly trained by Wesley Ward by Midshipman. She is a half to a juvenile stakes winning turf sprinter. I believe Chattel won the Skidmore at Saratoga, but the dam's also thrown a dirt winner in Japan. It's a Wesley Ward trained first-time starter. Joel Rosario takes the mount, and she blew out in 34 and change on April the 6th from the gate.
Yeah, certainly looks like a quick filly with some gait ability. Midshipman has been sneaky good as a turf sprint sire. You think of Lady Shipman and others. He's a good 2-year-old sire, as you'd expect by him being a 2-year-old champion himself. This one, a half to a 2-year-old stakes winning turf sprinter. I have to think that they might have, some races overseas in June circled for this one if she could run well in her debut.
The 6 is She's a Fast One. This is a filly by Tiz Now. And when you think Tiz Now, you often think experience and distance. That being said, this filly worked a quarter mile in 21-2 at the OBS March 2-year-old sale, was a $95,000 buyback, and there's speed on the bottom of this pedigree.
Yeah, very much speed. And, I like that she worked 2 furlongs at the 2-year-old sale, maybe shows some maturity, coming off a sharp workout April 8th in preparation for her debut. Tiz Now, I completely agree that we think of him as a distant sire, but he can sire a good 2-year-old. You think of Folklore and others.
Number 7, She's So Shiny, is by Capo Bastone. 3 for 12. Good start with 2-year-old first-time starters. This dam's already thrown a wet track route winner, but she's a half to Arch Traveler, a stakes-winning dirt sprinter. And look at these workouts at the Ashwood Training Center. Bullet after bullet after bullet.
Yeah, and Capo Bastone, a very fast horse from a good 2-year-old sire line, and that 3 for 12 stat, that's a really nice start for him with limited opportunities.
Number 8, Aaliyah Max, a $17,000 yearling by Kentucky Derby winner Orb. The dam is a half-sister to the great Tappet, who won the Wood Memorial, but will be best known as some sensational, legendary stallion. What a pedigree to get for $17,000 for a filly.
I know, a really wonderful filly, especially from that Malibu Moon sire line, which, throws good fillies. Orb's best runners to date, I think, have been fillies, including his Spinaway winner, Sippican Harbor, a couple of years back. Tappet, you mentioned his grade 1 win in the Wood Memorial, but as a racehorse, he was a decent 2-year-old himself, I believe, in the Laurel Futurity and other races.
And completing the fields, the number 9, that's Texas Tiara by Spendthrift Stallion Malibu Moon, trained by Wesley Ward. A buyback twice, but for $200,000, for $122,000. And the dam won the career debut. This is the family of Persistently, who I believe beat Rachel Alexandra at Saratoga. And I think Heavenly Prize is either the 3rd or 4th dam.
Yeah, some really nice horses in this female family. You would think of it maybe as a distance-oriented family, but man, a good solid work tab on this filly for her debut.
Top pick time for our Keeneland Baby race presented by Spendthrift. It's the opener on Thursday, and we're going to go with the Malibu Moon sired filly, the 9 Texas Tiara, trained by Wesley Ward.
Yeah, I went with the Spendthrift Stallion Exacta here. I went with the established classic sire Malibu Moon over the first crop sprinting sire Lord Nelson. I think both of these fillies, have the potential to run really well first time out.
Spendthrift Exacta for Nicole. Ward Exacta for me. Texas Tiara over Averly Jane. Maybe Aaliyah Max will do okay. The Orb out of a half-sister to Tappet. 9325 for Nicole. 9587 for me. It's your Thursday Keeneland Baby race presented by Spendthrift.